All right, y'all. So we got Stormy Daniels just testified at the recent Trump trial, or at the hush money Trump trial, I should say. And I'm going to walk you through it here in a second. But there's a couple things to point out here. I mean, for one thing, is this actually going to help the case? I think that's the question everybody should dwell on. Because yes, everybody's nosy and interested in salacious stuff. But is this helping to build to the conclusion that the prosecution wants, that this guy committed a financial crime, covered up a financial crime and knew he was doing it along the way? I'm not so convinced that it was necessary for her to take the stand, okay? And I'm not sure it helped. So now, having said that, am I going to give you the tea? You bet your ass cheeks I'm going to give you the tea. Here's the full breakdown from Ron Filipkowski. Trump's lawyers began by objecting to Stormy Daniels testifying to any sex details during her brief encounter with Trump. She has previously described the experience as underwhelming. The judge ruled that he would allow her to testify about certain details because her credibility is at issue, and the ability to recall or fail to recall certain details bears on that credibility. The prosecutor did state that he will not have Daniels specifically describe his genitalia. Jesus Christ. So, by the way, there was a time on the stand where Stormy started to get into what happened during the sex, and the judge was like, nope, we're not doing that. We're cutting that off right here. It's not relevant. The prosecution began the day by calling Susan Franklin, who was the executive managing editor at Penguin Random House Publishing. She was there to authenticate certain passages from Trump's books to be introduced into evidence. The prosecutor made a point to emphasize with the witness that Trump takes up 25 to 30% of each book cover in giant lettering. The following were some of the excerpts that were entered into evidence against Trump. The prosecution also introduced a book passage where Trump advised people to carefully scrutinize every invoice that they get from contractors or people they do business with. They also introduced a passage where Trump said that he always signs all his outgoing checks personally so he can keep track of where every dollar is going. He said, when you sign a check yourself, you're seeing what's really going on inside your business. They also introduced a passage where Trump claimed all the women on The Apprentice flirt with me. So, by the way, the reason why this is relevant is because one of Trump's defenses is, man, you're going to blame me for like a filing mistake when it comes to the finances. I'm not handling everything personally. I'm not the one who's hands-on with that stuff. I got a giant organization. I pawn that off to people who are underneath me to handle the details and the particulars. That was one of the defenses. But what they're laying out here is, you yourself have said all along that you always deal with the particulars. You're always deeply involved in the finances. And so this is relevant to the broader case as to whether or not a crime was committed and covered up. On cross-examination, Trump's lawyer Todd Blanche emphasized that Trump used a ghostwriter for his book, suggesting that some of the passages introduced as evidence may not have been Trump's words. On redirect examination, the prosecution introduced several passages that show that Trump was very much involved in the content of his book, such as things about his mother and details about conversations with specific employees. In other words, the prosecution is saying, no, nobody knows these details. Obviously, Trump was directly involved in this. Stormy Daniels was then called to the stand. Prosecutor Susan Hoffinger conducted the direct examination. She described being raised in a strict Christian home, but being abandoned by her mother. She began exotic dancing at age 17, then started nude modeling at 21 and got into the adult film industry at 23. She said that she went on to write and or direct over 150 films and has won several adult entertainment awards. She said she has also appeared in several movies that were not porn, such as Knocked Up, 40-Year-Old Version, and Superbad. She was also in a Maroon 5 video. She said that she first met Trump at a celebrity golf tournament in 2006 at Lake Tahoe when the company she worked for, Wicked Entertainment, was sponsoring one of the holes. She said their meeting was very brief and she posed for some pictures with him. She said she didn't know Trump's age, but knew he was older than my father. Stormy was 27 at the time and Trump was 60. She said she recognized him from his appearance at wrestling events that were televised, and he asked her about the movies. Daniels then identified the famous picture she took with Trump on the course. So this is Trump at age 60, Stormy Daniels at 27 in 2006, where they met at a celebrity golf tournament. I wonder how many of you guys know these details already. Stormy said that Trump then whispered something to his bodyguard, Keith Schiller, who then approached her and asked her to have dinner with Trump. She initially said, fuck no. That's hilarious. But they exchanged phone numbers. She said her publicist later told her that she should go to dinner with Trump, telling her what could possibly go wrong. Well, there's a lot that could go wrong. She then went to have dinner with him at the Harrah's. She said when she arrived, Schiller met her at the door of Trump's suite and told her how nice she looked. Daniels said she was led into the room and Trump was wearing silk pajamas, which she then started making fun of him for wearing, asking him if he stole Hugh Hefner's pajamas. He then left and came back in a dress shirt and pants. She said that she thought they were going to go downstairs for dinner in the hotel restaurant, but Trump told her it was too early, so they sat down at the table in the suite to talk. She said he asked her how she got into the adult entertainment industry and about her films. She said that Trump was most interested in the business aspect of the porn industry, such as how much she got paid, whether they had unions, how often they were tested for STDs, etc. She told him she never tested positive for an STD. She said that she watched a lot of wrestling growing up, and Trump told her that he was friends with WWE CEO Vince McMahon. By the way, how does that look now? Stormy asked about Trump and his wife Melania, and Trump said, quote, "Don't worry about that. We don't even sleep in the same room." This is one of those details that everybody's been focusing on in the media, basically saying like, oh, so a year into their marriage, they were already in total like, I hate you and you hate me mode. God damn. And there's, of course, a lot of evidence of that from when Trump was president. He would go to reach for Melania's hand when they're walking off the plane, and Melania would hit his hand away and be like, fuck out of here, basically. Trump then told her that she reminded him of his daughter, blonde and beautiful. She said at one point she got ready to leave because he was behaving very arrogant and kept asking her questions but not listening to her answers. He said she reminded him of his daughter. That's disturbing, bro. That's disturbing. She said she then spanked him on his butt with a rolled-up magazine, and he became more polite. What? Trump then suggested to her that she be on The Apprentice. She then called her friend and put her on speaker. She invited her to come over and hang out with him, but she never came over. She said when she went to go to use the bathroom, she noticed a toiletry bag on the counter. She looked inside and saw Old Spice and Pert Plus shampoo. She said his other items were all gold-plated like a pair of tweezers. She said when she came out, she was going to leave, but Trump was standing there wearing boxer shorts. Ugh. She said that she froze because she was not expecting that and thought to herself, oh my God, what did I misread here? Daniel said Trump then told her, if you ever want to get out of that trailer park, oh my God. The defense then objected and it was sustained. The judge instructed them to move on. She said that she felt drugged, meaning that there was a power imbalance vibe that was in the room. She said the next thing she knew, she was on the bed with her clothes off, but her bra still on, and Trump got on top of her in the missionary position. She said she was staring at the ceiling, wishing she was somewhere else. She said that he did not wear a condom, which bothered her. He did not wear a condom, which bothered her at the time, and she said the sexual encounter was very brief. By the way, one of the points that the defense goes on to make is, hold up, this story is different from the story you told previously. There was never any hint that it was non-consensual before, and now you're trying to make people believe it's non-consensual? What are you doing here? This isn't even what the trial's about. The trial's about the legality of the hush money payment and covering it up and it being fraudulent. That's what it's about. And now you're coming in here and saying something totally different from what you said previously. That would absolutely go after her credibility. It would. Daniel said when it was over, she remembers her hand shaking when she was trying to put her shoes on. Trump then said to her, let's get together again, honey bunch. She didn't respond and said that he never gave her his phone number anyway. She said that she saw him the next day at a restaurant in her hotel when she was with former Pittsburgh Steelers QB. He was with former Pittsburgh Steelers QB Ben Roethlisberger. He let her try on his Super Bowl ring, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, look, that's the important part. But then, so they go through a little bit more of the history. And then they get down to the defense response and says what I already pointed out. They're like, hey man, she completely changed her story. This is unacceptable. And they try to get a mistrial as a result of this. And the judge basically was like, I'm not going to give you a mistrial. But yeah, she was a tough witness and I had to reel her in at a number of times when she wasn't doing what she was supposed to be doing, basically. And so look, I don't know how much this helps. I understand that it makes sense. The person who got the hush money payment, it makes sense to get the backstory as to how we got to the hush money payment, right? And that's exactly what she was on there for. But when you get into the salacious details, let's keep it real. That's more of a let's point and go, ha, ha, he, he. That's got nothing to do with the legality of the thing in question. If this was a trial over him doing something non-consensual with her, that's a different story. But this is not that trial. So I don't know if it's going to help. But it was borderline there, man, in terms of like getting close to like mistrial area, but it's not actually a mistrial, and we'll see where they take it from here. But a lot of tea is being spilled in that there courtroom. I'll tell you that much. And we'll see if they overreached or not. I'm curious how the jury is interpreting this. Because we've seen it historically, like with Bill Clinton, for example, when the media and the Republicans kept going after him with the lurid details of what happened with Monica Lewinsky, that made Bill Clinton's numbers go up, bro. It did. Now, again, in this instance, it's different because we're talking about financial crimes with the hush money payment and covering it up. It's different. It's different, but as soon as she started to get into the specifics, remember, she had previously said homie's got a mushroom dick. You know the character Toad from Mario? Previously, she's like, he's got a little mushroom dick. And it looked like she was trying to go down that path on the stand, and then the judge's like, but zip it. Nope, we're not doing that. So I don't know if it helped, but I guess we'll find out soon. All right, guys, that's the show. Love you all very much. Everybody do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, click that bell icon so you get a notification every time a video drops. We got Jill Stein on Crystal Kyle and Friends this week. You don't want to miss that. Do not miss that. That should be fun. That should be interesting. It's another option, not named Joe Biden or Donald Trump. That's always good. Or RFK, because that motherfucker's a psycho-Zionist as well. I love y'all. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Much love. Peace. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.